Okay, welcome to Miniset number 1, video number 6. We are now prepared to start posting from our general journal to the individual general ledger accounts. At this point, you should already have that done from video 1. That was the very first thing I had you set up, was the general ledger accounts. So those account numbers and names are all in order as found on the chart of accounts. So very quickly, let us go over what the steps are for posting. There are 5 steps, and we will go with number 1. Let's say number 1, what form we're talking about. In fact, I don't like that color. We're going to go with red since it's nice and bright. What form? We're going to be on the general ledger. Okay, this is the general ledger, for instance, the cash and bank. Where on that form? We're going to do the date column. What goes in the date column? The date of the transaction. Number 2, what's the second step? Well, where? What form? General ledger. Where on that form? Well, we're talking about the post reference column right here. So this is 1, this is 2. The post reference column. What goes in there? The general journal page number. We are talking about that number right here. Okay. Next step, number 3. What form? General ledger. Where on the form? Well, we had these 2 columns here constitute the transaction columns. Some ledgers will actually tell you transaction and balance, like the balances over here. So where on the form? Transaction column. What goes in there? The debit or the credit from the transaction. Fourth step, what form? General ledger. Well, now we need to calculate a new balance, so we go to the balance column. What do we do there? We calculate new balance. And number 5, what's the 5th step here? Easy enough. We go back to the general journal. Okay? What form? General journal. Where on the form? Post reference column, right? That's this right here. What goes in there? The general ledger account number posted. These are the 5 steps for posting a transaction. These 5 steps right here, you have to commit them to memory at some point, and I've already done it at least once or twice. I've created a video showing you how to do it. I give you a quiz or a part of an assessment on it, and it gives you an opportunity to follow along in the video. You could easily get all the points that are available by just following the video. So the account number posted, let me just rephrase that again. That is the general ledger account number for the cash and bank, 101. Nice clean example. So I'm going to very quickly go through, if I can do this without totally botching up the screen, I'm going to very quickly go through the postings for these transactions so as to not waste time. I should be able to do it in less than 3 videos, but we will work from the same screen. And we'll do everything in red. All right, what account? First line. We're going to work from the very first line, and we're going to work from that first line all the way over, from left to right. And then we're going to go to the second part of that transaction, but 1 line at a time. So let's go to the cash and bank. Let's put the date of the transaction. Every account's going to need at least a month, right? This is the date, is May 1st. There's the first part of the transaction. Where did it come from? It came from journal page number 1. What was it? It was a $50,000 debit. With a $50,000 debit and no previous balance to speak about, it's going to be a $50,000 balance. Go back to your general, take a note, number one, that the account number is 101. Go back to your general journal and under the post reference put 101. Second part, capital. Let's go to our capital account. Capital account. The date of the transaction, May 1. Where did it come from? Journal page 1. What was it? It was a $50,000 credit. No previous balance to speak of, so that's going to be $50,000. Go back to your general journal and put the account number posted, 301. Next transaction, office equipment. Office equipment. See if we can get this a little bigger because it's a little hard for me to see too. Office equipment. The date of the transaction was May 2nd. It came from journal page number 1. It was a $3,500 debit. No previous balance to speak of, so that will be $3,500 debit balance. Account number posted was 135. Go back to the post reference and put 135. Second part was a capital. Go back to your capital again, and we just need to put the date in, the day. So second came from journal page number 1. It was a $3,500 investment. And the previous balance was a credit of $50,000, and we now have an additional $3,500. That is going to give us a new balance of $53,500. $53,500. Go back to your general journal. That was account number 301. And we put in 301 in the post reference. Now we're moving along, folks. Next transaction, office supplies. The date of the transaction was the 2nd for $125 debit. Office supplies, the date was May 2nd. It came from journal page number 1. It was a $125 debit. No previous balance to speak of, so it's $125. The account number that it was posted to was 130. So we're going to go back to our general journal in the post reference column and put 130. Cash and bank, credit for $125. So we're going to come over here and we're going to say the date of the transaction was the 2nd. It came from journal page number 1. It was a $125 balance, or excuse me, a $125 transaction. And since that's the decrease side, we're going to decrease it from the normal balance side of a cash and bank. And we're going to say, well, we have to subtract the 125 from the 50,000. That's going to be 49,875. So 49,875. Account number 101 it was posted to. Go back to your general journal. 101. Okay. Next account was office furniture. A debit of $2,700 on the 3rd. Office furniture. May 3rd. Journal page number 1. It was a $2,700 debit. No previous balance to speak of, so $2,700. Okay, it was journaled or post it to account number 140. Go back over here and put 140. The credit was to accounts payable, and it was for Office Systems. Account payable, Office Systems, where we have it. Office Systems right here. Date of the transaction was the 3rd, so we say May 3rd. Came from journal page number 1. It was Office Systems for $2,700 credit. So we owe them that money, right? And no previous balance to speak of, so it's $2,700 balance. Take the 210, which is the account number, and make sure you put that into the post reference. Okay. Next transaction, web server. Web server is an asset account. You're going to find that in purple. How about those apples, huh? Date is the 7th for 25 grand. May 7th. Transaction came from journal page number 1. It was a $25,000 acquisition of assets. No previous balance to speak of, so $25,000. And account number 145. Put that in there. 145 in the post reference. Now, accounts payable, computer specialist. Well, it's going to be over here. The date of the transaction was May 7. Came from journal page number 1. It was an increase of debt by $25,000. And no previous balance to speak of, so $25,000. Go back to the general journal and put the account number, post it, 205. One more. Cash and bank on the 9th, $1,000 debit. Well, we must have got paid for something, right? The 9th, journal page 1, $1,000. And the previous balance was $49,875, which is going to give us a $50,875 balance. Right, $50,875. The account number posted was 101. Go down here in the post reference column and put 101 on the journal. It was considered fees, revenue. We earned the money. So web service fees. And let's say it's probably down here somewhere. Web service fees. Liking it already. So the date of the transaction was what? It was the 9th, so May 9. Came from journal page number 1. It was $1,000 worth of revenue. Revenue increases by virtue of a credit. So there's the credit side of it, right? And no previous balance to speak of, so we have $1,000. Account number was 401. We're going to go back over here, and we're going to put 401 in the post-reference column in the general journal. Last but not least for this video, we have on the 11th, we have AP Anderson Hospital, $3,000. So we must have provided work for them. So $3,000 for accounts payable. Accounts payable, where are you at? And that would be, clearly, should be a R. So that's accounts receivable. We'll go to accounts receivable, Andrew Hospital. And that's going to be right here. We're going to say May 11th. Getting ahead of myself here, or going backwards, I should say. May 11th. Transaction came from journal page number 1. It was for $3,000. We expect to get this money down the road, right? This is what you call money out on the street. Okay, debit, we have no previous balance to speak of, so we say $3,000. Go back to the general journal, put the account number posted, that is 105. We earned this revenue, even though we didn't get paid for it yet, so web service fees, and we can move this up here to web service fees, and we're going to say the date of the transaction was the 11th, came from journal page number 1. It was how much money? $3,000 credit. We increased our revenue by $3,000. The previous balance was 1. 4,000. So then that means I can even add that one. I'm going to say $4,000 credit balance in the revenue. Does that make sense? And I would say it does. Going back to the general journal, we're going to put the 401, the account number, post it right in here. 401. We're going to end the video right there. It's at 15 minutes and 27 seconds. We will pick up. Now, this is where this is a great example of why it's important to follow the process. I'm going to be able to go back to this video in 5 minutes, 5 days, 5 months, 5 years if I don't do any more posting, and know exactly where I left off. If I had cherry picked and put all the account numbers in there first on the post reference on the journal, I wouldn't know where I was, right? That would be cheating. You're cheating yourself only, right? That's what they tell you. But what's really happening is you're not following the process, and it becomes unreliable as far as going back and forth to your work. I doubt very much you're going to do all this in one sitting. So following the process will help you go back to where you were and pick up right where you left off without trying to second guess what you did. So again, that's my advice to you. That's roughly 45 minutes of ranting about how important it is to follow the process. And I will see you in the next video.